girls, this is Mrs. G. I'm coming at you through the world of, YouTube to talk some math. So why don't we go ahead and get started? I want to talk a little bit about watching a video and learning math and kind of what's required. I do ask that you take notes. Okay, write something down. It is important that we listen and understand, but it's also important that you have something written down that you can refer back to if you have forgotten how to add and subtract fractions. So please do take notes. You do not need to write down every single word, okay? Primarily, I want you listening and trying to understand first and foremost. So, you don't have to write everything down. We will summarize at the end. But yes, so take notes, use your judgment for what you think you need to write down, and with that, we will get started. Oh, last but not least, make sure to remember you can stop. This is a video. You can stop, you can rewind, you can go back if you feel like you want to watch something again. So today, we are going to talk about adding and subtracting fractions. Okay, adding and subtracting fractions, something you've all done before. And please take a moment now to stop the video and write down that title in your notes. Adding and subtracting fractions. Okay, thank you for coming back. Adding and subtracting fractions is really fairly nice and easy and not so bad when the pieces of our pizza are the same size. When we cut our pizza into the exact same size. Here we have 3 pieces. Over here we have 3 pieces. We have cut our pizza into thirds. So all we have to really do is take this piece and add it to this piece here. So we started with 1/3. We added another 1/3, and we get 2 thirds. Okay, it's as easy as that when your pizza is cut into the same size pieces. When the denominators are the same, when the bottom numbers are the same. We have a 3, we have a 3, and we end with thirds. Because our pizza is cut into 3 pieces, we still have that denominator of 3. We just bring that along. We added the first slice of our pizza to the second slices of our pizza, so now we have 2 thirds. Okay, it's as easy as that. 1/3 plus 1/3 is 2 thirds. Okay, what happens when the slices of our pizza are not the same size? When we are cutting things into different size parts. So here we have a half, here we have a third. What's visually going on is we're simply adding this piece of our pizza to this pieces of our pizza. But really, how much is this? How do I represent this? How do I write that down as a number? I can see visually what I'm doing, but how do I figure out how much that actually is? Well, what we want to do is somehow take our pizzas and cut them into the same size pieces. So why don't we extend some of the lines here on the third pizza that's cut into 3 pieces. If I extend these lines, that looks like I have more pieces, and it also looks like I might be able to do that same thing with my other pizza over here that's in half. So why don't I cut it kind of in those same size pieces? Well, what do I have now? What am I talking about? It looks like over here I have 6 slices. So instead of this being 1/3, I'm going to write it as 2/6. 1, 2 out of 6. Okay, what about on the other side? It looks like I also have 6 equal pieces. So over here I have 1, 2, 3. Instead of writing a half, I'll write 3/6. So now we have 6 on the bottom. We have common denominators. We have cut our pizza into the same size pieces. So 3/6 plus 2/6 is over here going to be 5/6. We can see that visually if I take this pizza and kind of cut it into that same size pieces. Okay, do you see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Okay, that's really visual. It's really easy to understand. It should make a lot of sense to you. Cut your pizza into more pieces. Keep doing that until you get the same sizes and then add them up. The only problem is that sometimes we need the process to go quicker. Okay, sometimes we don't have the ability to draw all these pictures and it just seems to take so long. So let's look at adding 1/2 plus 1/3 but doing it more numerically. What we want to do is zero in, really focus in on the denominators. I have a 2 and a 3. And what I'm looking for is the least common multiple of 2 and 3. Okay, what that means is let's take the number 2 and write down some multiples of 2. The multiples would be 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. The multiples of 3 would be 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. I can stop once I see something they have in common. What do they have in common is a 6. So what I want to do is take 1/2 and 1/3 and change them to equivalent fractions, but instead out of 6. Okay, I'm going to change their denominators to be out of 6. How am I going to actually do that? Well, in 1/2, it looks like I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by 3, because 2 times 3 makes 6, and that matches the denominator that I want, so 1 times 3 makes 3. So that's my new numerator there. Over here, I need to multiply by 2. So now I have 1 times 2 makes 2 for my new numerator. If I add 3, 6, plus 2, 6, I get 5, 6. Okay, so you can see that the answer is the same. In this sense, we did it with numbers. In the other sense, we did it with pictures. Okay, to summarize, you're looking for what's called the least common multiple, a multiple that they have in common. Okay, if you're not sure what it might be, some of you may have looked at 2 and looked at 3 and said, oh yeah, it's 6. That's fine. If you're stuck, just start writing down the multiples like I did over here. Okay, let's try one more example. This one, let's start again. I have a picture. It looks like in this picture I have 2/3 plus 1/4. Okay, the slices of my pizza are different sizes. What I can do is try and cut them up evenly so I can see visually what's happening. Maybe I'll extend all these lines. Those look the same size to me. So now I have, I can do it here. So now I have 8 pieces here, and I have 3 pieces there that I have shaded in. How much is it out of? 12. So really, what I'm adding is 8/12 plus 3/12. I should get a final answer of 11/12. Okay, again, that's nice and easy when it's visual, but we're not always going to be able to draw those pictures. It just takes a long time. So how can I do it without drawing all the pictures out? How can I do it numerically? Let's do that here. What did I start with? 2/3 plus 1/4. Again, I'm going to look for a common denominator. I'm going to look for a least common multiple, LCM. Multiples of 3, so I'm starting here with this denominator. Multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. Multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12. Oh, I'm going to stop there because I can see that I have a 12. What I need to do is change both of these fractions into a fraction that is now out of 12. I have cut my pizza into 12 slices. Okay, how am I going to get the equivalent fractions here? Well, 2/3 is how many out of 12? I'm going to multiply by 4 because 3 times 4 makes 12. So on top, I'm going to have 8 in the top fraction. Down here, how am I going to make 12? I'm going to multiply by 3 because 4 times 3 makes 12. So I have to do the same on the top, and I get 3 here. My final answer is 11/12. Okay, you can see that those are the exact same thing. Okay, what I'd like you guys to do is try some. Okay, I have 3 here. Give them a try in their notes. The first one, 5/8 plus 1/4. The second one, 3/5 plus 1/3. And the third one, 7/8 minus 1/6. So give it a try. If you feel ready to go, if you feel ready to attack this, do it. If you need some more help, go back to the last problem. Press pause now, and come back when you're all done. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mrs. G. Hopefully you've tried some of these problems. If you're stuck, if you're still sitting there stuck, my suggestion would be to write down some multiples. In looking at number 1, the multiples of 8 and 4. Multiples of 8 are here are 8, 16, 32. Here are 4, 8, 12. Oh, it's 8. Okay, so I want to make a least common denominator, or at least common multiple. I want to make my new denominator 12. So hopefully in the first one you got 7 eighths. You can give yourself a hand on the back if you got that one, or a pat on the back. The second one, start listing your multiples. Okay, what are the multiples of 5 and 3? Okay, the multiples of 5 and 3 are here. What's the first one they have in common? 15. Okay, 15 is going to be your new denominator. What's going to happen is I should get 8 fifteenths. Okay, if you're not sure how that happened, take a look at my work. And then number 3, start listing your multiples. This was some big numbers. Start listing your multiples. Multiples of 8 and 6, it looks like 24 is your denominator you're trying to get. So your final answer here should be 17 over 24. If you're still struggling with those, it's okay. Just come ask me tomorrow and we'll talk about it. Okay? So that should be it for our notes. To summarize, simply understand that when adding and subtracting fractions, you need a common denominator. If you're not sure what that means, it's the bottom number. And to find the common denominator, you're looking for a least common multiple. If you don't know what to do to look for a least common multiple, just start listing. Okay, make a list of multiples. Okay, and again, if you need help, come let me know. I'm always here for you. And if you're not sure, just let me know in class when we see you next. Okay, have a good night. See you later. Mrs. G is out.